There's a big story in astronomy. Astronomers, we found a very strange object. Has entered our solar system, approaching the Earth. This is the third discovery in the history of human observation, interstellar object, and the object exhibited a number of anomalous features. I have been responsible for this. Avi Loeb, chair of the astronomy department at Harvard University, clothed in just half a month, 3 papers and 5 articles written in a row. A warning to all humanity. This thing could be more than just a coma. As simple as stars or little stars. It may be the second. A scout from another galaxy. Remember 2017, before humans can study it in detail. Suspected alien spacecraft, all silently accelerated, escaped the solar system. And this time we might have a chance to see it all. This object has just been discovered. 3A Atlas was discovered on July 1st by the NASA-funded Atlas survey. He was discovered using the telescope at Rio Hurtado in Chile. And he was first attacked as a speck of light, moving relative to background stars. We collected a good amount of data, more than 100. Speaking of July 1st, 2025, an imperceptible dimness, pixels across the sky, Forbidden's asteroid by Rio Hurtado, Chile, impact early warning system discovery. This unknown object was originally codenamed A11PL3Z, was discovered 670 million kilometers from the Sun, approaching at 61 kilometers per second. This speed can be said to be very happy. The eccentricity of the A11PL3G is 6.144. Eccentricity is a key parameter to describe the orbit shape. Its value determines the specific type of orbit. For example, eccentricity 0 means this is a circular orbit. Between 0 and 1, that's an elliptical orbit. The eccentricity of the Earth is 0.0167. Show, the Earth's orbit is a very nearly circular ellipse. Equals 1, which means parabolic escape trajectory. Greater than 1 is a hyperbolic trajectory. This orbit resembles a gyroscope. It means that the celestial body is not bound by the attractive forces of the Sun, will eventually leave the solar system. The eccentricity of the A11PL3D is 6.144. This shows that it's an interstellar visit from outside our solar system. Customer followed. Scientists have named it the 3 Extreme Atlas 3A. Representing him is so far the third interstellar object discovered by humans. The first 2 are the 2017 Momo and Borisov in 2019. Then, according to the initial captured images, Atlas appears to be releasing gas. So, the astronomical community currently regards him as a shooting star. Look at it precisely because of this. I didn't pay much attention to this news when it first came out, but a few days later, Harvard University senior astronomer Avi Loeb found something different in Atlas. Regular feature, in a paper he co-authored with others. Even with a title like this, Interstellar Object Atlas, could it be an alien technology? So today we will take a look. What did he find? First of all, Avi Loeb believes that directly identifies Atlas as a coma. Startai sloppy. He was originally identified as a comet. It's because there's a circle of ambiguity around it. This was interpreted by the outside world as painting hair, and slightly elongated in the direction of the Sun. This was interpreted as a committee, but Avi Loeb thinks Atlas is fast. 61 kilometers per second. So, blurring may just be the object moving at high speed. The after image left behind. It's like the 100-meter flyer war. Blurred photo taken. This ambiguity should not be considered as evidence from the committee. And according to the astronomical teams, subsequent observations revealed that the Atlas spectrum, in fact, no comet was found. Star-consistent gas signatures. So is he a comet or not? Need to continue to observe. At the same time, Avi Loeb, it ruled out the possibility that he was an asteroid. If Atlas were an asteroid, measured by brightness, its diameter should be around 20 kilometers. But an asteroid 20 kilometers in diameter does not fit the overall reserves model of interstellar asteroids. The short answer is, suppose he really came from an asteroid outside the solar system. So in the past 5 years, we should be able to observe about 1 million Only exoplanets less than 100 meters in diameter. But here's the thing. So far we have only found one. This one is still very controversial. Mammy also. The probability that he is an asteroid, low to negligible. So here's the problem. He's neither an asteroid. It doesn't show the spectral signature of a comet. What is he then? This aroused Avi Loeb's intense curiosity. Then he made further observations. Multiple anomalies were found. These anomalies are difficult to explain with probability. Avi Loeb observes Atlas. You need sophisticated telescopes. The first is the orbital plane of Atlas. It is less than 5 degrees away from the ecliptic plane of the Earth, tweaked to the solar system. The ecliptic plane of the other planets relative to the Earth. The angle of the ecliptic plane is less than 7 degrees. It is precisely because they have been exposed to the sun for a long time, the result of attractive forces. But as a celestial body that rashly entered the solar system, Atlas' orbit plane angle is actually also less than 5 degrees. Is this just coincidence? If it's a coincidence, the probability of this coincidence was calculated by Avi Loeb. Only 0.2%, so is there a possibility? Is this track deliberately designed? Secondly, you'll notice his orbital simulation. Atlas enters the inner circle of the solar system, almost like Mars. Jupiter passing by. It's only 0.65 astronomical units from Venus. This probability is better than just the orbit. Smaller plane angle, it's a measly 0.05%. One has to wonder. The purpose of his visit, wouldn't it be for a closer look? The many planets in the inner solar system. In addition, the time of Atlas' arrival at perihelion. It's October 29th this year. The position is exactly opposite the Earth, on the other side of the Sun. Avi Loeb believes that this may be to avoid foundation, telescope, observe it at its brightest, or to cover themselves, launch some kind of device at Earth from that location. Atlas at this time will orbit perihelion at 68 kilometers per second, retrograde motion, direction opposite to the motion of the Earth around the Sun. The speed of the Earth is 30 kilometers per second, so the velocity difference between the Earth and Atlas will reach 98 kilometers per second. In light of this, humans ride on chemical rockets, landing at close range. Atlas is almost impossible, because at the current rocket speed we have, at most only 1/3 of this speed can be reached. Third, Avi Loeb talked about the concept of the Opus maneuver. Opus maneuver means the spacecraft is approaching perihelion at high speed. Make a propulsion motion, the most effective way to increase your own kinetic energy. Oh, just once. Executed by Obo's excitement, accelerated out of the solar period. But we can't see his hair and drawings. So I suspected that he might be interstellar. Scout. And the reverse is also true. Atlas, if the reverse Obo's maneuver is performed at perihelion, the most efficient deceleration. Keep yourself within the attractive force of the sun. Anyway, whether it is acceleration, slow down or launch device to Earth, the sun's perihelion is the most ideal position. But this perfect location is just obscured by the sun. This prevents us from observing directly from Earth. The origin direction of the fourth Atlas. It happens to be the brightest galactic center. Due to the dense background of stars, as a result, before July this year, it's hard for us to detect his existence. If only astronomers had spotted it more than a year in advance, we had a chance to launch the spacecraft, intercept in orbit. But now chemical rockets are used to intercept. It's already impossible. This situation is very similar to that of Oumuamua. The year 2017 is flying from the direction of the sun. Approach the Earth with the cover of sunlight. Therefore, ground-based telescopes could barely see him at first. To sum up, no matter the source direction or the orbit, Atlas looks very suspicious. This suspicion far exceeds the expectations of conventional astronomical discoveries. However, Avi Loeb still said that the simplest hypothesis is that it's just a comet, due to its distance from the Earth, so we can't observe. spectral characteristics of gaseous mapping. However, if future data indicates that he has no committee, so we face a worrying possibility. That is, Atlas is the second Momo. He is not in interstellar space, acquired speed, but was deliberately sent to the solar system. That's a possibility we have to consider. Because all objects in the sky are not necessarily asteroids and comets. Here's a practical example. Humans who have just entered the space age. The Voyager probe has been launched into space. Voyager is currently moving every second 15 kilometers towards the telescope constellation, about 11 years later. If Voyager still existed, he will enter 50,000 light years from Earth, the other side of the galactic disk. On this long journey, is it possible that he passed by an alien civilization? What about the territory? I think the answer is self-evident. And on the other hand, I think it's very interesting. The Sun is 4.50 billion years old, belongs to relatively young stars. In the Milky Way, stars older than the Sun abound. So at some point in the future, a civilization older than humans, launch probe, or a spaceship, coming to the solar system is entirely possible. So this raises a question. How can we distinguish an alien spacecraft and interstellar asteroids? The reason why comets are excluded here, because as we get closer to the Sun, comets always show signs of hair and tail painting. Relatively easy to identify. Asteroids are different. Therefore, Avi Loeb summarized the following points. First of all, there's orbit. As a spacecraft built by an alien civilization, it has to have a propulsion engine in it. So, the orbit may change at any time for some purpose. Take Atlas. If we find his flight path by then, the trajectory is very different from the simulated hyperbolic trajectory. That means it's not easy. The second is reflected light. The reflection of sunlight can be determined by spectral characteristics. Read it out. And when the target object moves away from the Sun, the reflected light fades rapidly. This works well with artificial light sources. Distinguish. Third, scientists can observe the rotation of the target object, the light curve of reflected sunlight, to determine whether it was artificially designed. Shape. Some scientists use this method to infer. What is not presented when you leave the Olympics is a disk. The aspect ratio is 1:6. It's a very suspicious shape. The fourth is flying image shooting. Clear detail on the surface of an object allows us to distinguish immediately. It's a technological artifact. It's just rock. An image like this, it can be performed by specialized camera shot of the intercept mission, or when the object happens to be close to the Earth. Pity, since Atlas relies on the background starlight of the Milky Way. Enter the solar system. It's fast. The angle is tricky. It's too late when you find out. So scientists can't perform a similar operation. Fifth, surface analysis by remote spectroscopy. It is possible to detect cosmic rays, interstellar dust grains, and interstellar mass death bombardment, traces left by the stroke. The secret recipe for scars and speed proportional to travel time. Objects that are faster or have existed longer. There should be more scars on the surface. If the target object is moving very fast, but the scars on the surface are not proportional, that means he's probably a spaceship. Sixth, radio monitoring. It's a working technology device. It may emit radio signals, so our ground-based telescopes should be monitoring. From radio to GA, the breadth of horse rays, frequency range, but also keep an eye on the target object. Because if the other party is a reconnaissance ship, for him, the most efficient way is when flying into a migratory planet. Release small detectors on time, and give it the right speed. Make it meet the target planet. The body of the reconnaissance ship continues to advance to the next constant star. Then for this Atlas, Avi Loeb thought of the dark forest law. He believes that the law of the dark forest, some of them may well be true, real. For example, a smart book. In order to avoid being trapped in the universe, potential predators discovered will remain silent. Set up an alien search. Radio signals for so many years, but the universe remains silent. Maybe that's why. But it needs attention. Keep silent. It doesn't mean we're not going to explore. Only for them. Exploration will win and win. So when the situation is unclear. Priority launch 1. Aircraft like Oumuamua. Launch a survey of nearby star systems. That's a wonderful choice. And this time with tricky angle cut into the solar period of Atlas. Could it also be an alien probe? Avi Loeb at the end of his dissertation expressed their concerns, but this paragraph in the paper submitted to the American Astronomical Society research newsletter actually had their editor deleted. Just because he brought up the concept of alien civilizations, the conservative attitude of astronomers can be seen in general. On the other hand, Wikipedia, because of the initial vague discovery, directly defines Atlas as a comet. And for the anomaly found by Avi Loeb, they responded that the paper must first be published in a journal. Wikipedia to drink. There's nothing wrong with that. But here's the thing. Wikipedia defines Atlas as a comet, citing only unreviewed scientific announcements and coverage. All of the above explains a phenomenon that exists in the scientific community. That's suppression for psychological reasons, ignoring breakthrough evidence. Avi Loeb finally emphasizes Atlas anomaly feature. The observational data will be available soon. Get a clear explanation. The development of science. It is necessary to maintain an open attitude because it's the focus on the anomaly drives the collection of new data and the resolution of problems. Those who try to hide anomalies, the traditional gatekeeper, eventually doomed to fail. Just like Galileo was under house arrest, suppressed about Jupiter, the discovery of satellite anomalies. This did not stop the development of modern science. It just slows down the process. In the end, even the Vatican had to admit it. Galileo was right. If we support this conservative, refuse to disseminate any letter that is equivalent to the mainstream method, then human beings are doomed to remain ignorant forever. So that's it for the video. I am Lin Shi. See you next time.